Wow. Business news now with Charles, and he's going to start with a strike that has just started in the US. It's affecting 36 major ports, this.
That's right, Stuart. According to New York's Governor Kathy Hochul, this is the first large-scale Eastern dockworkers strike in 47 years. And it started just over 3 hours ago now. It's affecting a large number of facilities all the way from Maine in the northeast of the United States to Texas on the Gulf of Mexico, as you can see on the map there. And it has been called on by the union representing 45,000 dockworkers, the International Longshoremen's Association, who are really the blue-collar workers who handle containers arriving and leaving ports from across the world. This is raising fears of rising inflation and potential shortages ahead of a busy holiday season and 5 weeks from a presidential election where inflation has been a central theme. Eastern and Gulf ports are the gateway to the U.S. market for a number of crucial consumer and industrial goods. Just as an example, over the first 7 months of the year, 74% of seaborne wine imports came through there, as well as 75% of banana imports and 89% of salt used in chemical manufacturing. Other sectors that could be concerned are the auto sector, for instance, with fears there of parts shortage looming.
So what are the dock workers actually asking for then?
Well, they are reportedly asking for a 77% pay increase over the next 6 years, as well as benefit improvements and certain guarantees against the use of automation in container ports as a last-ditch effort. The Maine Employer Association, the U.S. Maritime Alliance, had asked to extend the current contract and also offered to raise their offer to a 50% pay rise over the next 6 years. But this was rejected by the dock workers. Trade and manufacturing groups are now pressuring the Biden administration to intervene, notably using the Taft-Hartley Act to try and break the strike. But the White House has said it is not considering doing that now. The strike could cost the U.S. economy between $3.8 and $4.5 billion a day, according to calculations by J.P. Morgan.
Yeah, and these demands are taking place as the shipping industry, to be fair to the workers, has raked in massive profits, hasn't it?
And that's the argument made by the union for its demands, and also why the strike had been really in the books for a while. Back in June, unions called off scheduled contract talks as the world's major shipping companies, mostly headquartered in Europe and Asia, reported huge profits, in part thanks to the fact that sea travel through the Red Sea has been made difficult by Houthi rebels attacking ships off the coast of Yemen and forcing carriers to take longer routes around that area. As an example, Danish company Maersk projected $3 billion in additional cash flow for the year as a result. Also worth noting that dock workers are among the best paid blue-collar workers in the U.S., with a base hourly rate of $39 an hour, and quite a few of them making six-figure annual salaries.
Okay, markets now. What's the picture in Europe then, Charles?
Well, European markets opening mixed this Tuesday after this, and also this October after closing September on a more negative note on Monday evening. Investors looking forward to September inflation data for the Eurozone, which will be released later this Tuesday morning. Expectations are that the figure will come in at around 1.9%, which will boost chances of another rate cut from the European Central Bank.
Now, I'm going to take you to the Ivory Coast next. The government there has just set the official price of cocoa amid a massive run-up on commodities markets.
The Ivorian government has fixed that price for the next growing season at 1,800 CFA francs per kilo, or 2.7 euros. It's a new record for the raw material that ends up as chocolate. A long period of erratic weather in West Africa has reduced output and sent global wholesale prices to nearly triple their level just 1 year ago. Farmers in Ivory Coast, though, say they were expecting an even higher price. Brian Quinn has a story.
A seasonal assembly for Ivory Coast's cacao producers. They've gathered to learn the official price for the next growing season. In coordination with neighboring Ghana, that price is going up 20% over the last harvest to 1,800 CFA francs, or 2.7 euros per kilo. The Farmers' Union greeting the decision with a cautious welcome.
20% is significant. It means the Coffee Cacao Council will be able to offer universal health coverage. That's what's important.
Cacao produces cocoa beans, the main ingredient in chocolate. Ivory Coast accounts for some 45% of the world's production, a sector that represents 14% of the West African nation's GDP. Unlike liberalized cocoa markets like that of neighboring Cameroon, Ivory Coast sets harvest prices in advance. The practice protects farmers from crashes, but it can also prevent them from cashing in. Erratic weather this year linked to El Niño and climate change has sent production down and prices way up. The price of cocoa has risen 170% on a yearly basis in London, topping $10,000 per ton in New York. That's meant big profits for middlemen, but Ivorian farmers say wholesale prices need to be even higher to keep up with their cost of living. They wanted €3 per kilo.
In other countries like Cameroon, the price is going up daily. The price set here is not what we, the farmers, were hoping for.
Cacao farming represents an estimated 1 million jobs in Ivory Coast, providing a living to 5 million people.
And on the consumer side, we can expect these chocolate prices to go up again as the chocolate season, the Christmas season comes around the corner.
At least it'll make us thinner. Shall Pellegrin with a business up for us 24.